and welcome back. This is the quarterfinals. This is ZiWi Gaming versus the Island Boys. ZiWi Gaming and Island Boys being top two contenders for the finals. Ariban coming out first from Island Boys. Island Boys are on the blue side.
Yeah, it almost feels disingenuous that this has to be our quarterfinals. Expect this to be a finals duo here, but we're going to get it earlier rather than later.
Oh, oops.
It's just business.
Okay, the severe ban coming out for the first pick on blue side. What are we thinking so far? The Silas gone too, obviously. The champions being banged now are just, you know, top tier players for solo, or top tier champions for solo queue. Very strong in their independent lanes.
I mean, a Volibear ban would not go against that. Currently, I think one of the highest win rate junglers. So right now, it seems like both teams going on op.gg, looking who has the highest rates and picking from the list there. Is Kaiser going to be hovered for the third and final ban here?
The final ban for the first phase.
What does this imply? I mean, Pantheon's open, Varus is open. There's
Banning...
so many, like, burst picks.
Banning the Kaiser and Severe here, I don't know why, but it screams Draven to me.
Oh, it does. Hang on a second.
It very much screams like independent ADC that can just 1v9. Like I'm thinking like Jinx or a Draven or like.
If we wanna get extra entertaining, we could see something like a Samira come through. GP, the last ban of the first set of phases here. What's the first pick gonna be? I'm already interested.
The Gangplank coming out as well. Obviously, a Gangplank, a very good solo laner that works really well in team fights. We have seen a Gangplank excel in the past, you know, with his ultimate, getting those solos out. With the Kaiser and Severe banner, it's going to be an Ashe first pick.
We're seeing a little bit of a run back to game one. The Ashe was phenomenal then.
It's going to be phenomenal now, I reckon. I reckon these teams, two top-tier teams of TeamDiffOpen, they're going to exceed. This is going to be a good match.
But the question is, what do you respond now? Do you opt to sort of take a good matchup into the Ashe, or do you take away some powerful picks?
I think you pick a top laner here. I don't think the Neeko's the top pick. I think they're flexing this Neeko in the mid and support role. Obviously, exceeding both as just a solo laner, but as working well as a really good engage for, you know, bot side. I wonder what they're going to pair it with. Are they going to just show their hand on the bot lane, or are they going to pick their mid laner here, or their top laner, or their jungle even? It really, you know, they're getting us on the edge of our seats here, counting down the timer.
I think you opt to take the jungler. I think you just take the jungler early here, but it will be the
No,
Ezreal.
They're just slamming out their bot lane, a very strong bot lane. The Neeko and Ezreal have got amazing poke early on. The Ezreal is what I felt like we needed last game, really, and in the first game too.
Yeah, I think the Ezreal is a very good pickup there, but I don't think it should have come out this early. I think you wait to see, you know, maybe 1-2 more picks, but, you know, it is a champ you can rotate early. Vi comes through, and now I can hear is Morgana. If a Morgana comes out, it can go into the jungle, go into support. Neeko goes mid. I see a very, very good Morgana spot here. There's an Ashe, there's Vi.
The Karma coming out. The Maokai hover.
If it's Maokai, Morgana is unbelievable, but if it's Karma, it's a little bit shakier. Potentially trying to pick away the combo.
It's going to be a Bard to the swap very last second. The Bard and the Ashe is going to be very strong. The Morgana pick coming out. This draft is already getting us on the edge of our seats. I hope you guys are pumped for this game just as much as we are. The Bard being a very good last pick, as we've seen in professional play. Like players like Reckless have been choosing Bard a lot more, especially with these more like pokey lanes that they're either going into, or they have the Ashe Bard. I think it's just an excellent combo because it just means a guaranteed stun for the Ashe. The Morgana is going to be picked. It is going to look like it's going to be a, you know, a flex between Nico and Morgana. Opening this freeway flex just leads to a lot of opportunities for ZiWi Gaming here to just play how they want, choose what they want.
I think you have to send this Morgana jungle every time. Her clear is so much faster than Vi's. And, you know, Morgana is a neutralizing pick for Vi. That spell shield completely nullifies the ult, and that's why I was calling for it. That's why I didn't think it would happen, but look at that. We have a Morgana on our screen.
They are going to take the LeBlanc out of the game, though. The LeBlanc obviously just being a very strong independent laner, being able to dodge and get away from the poke of ZiWi Gaming here. I think it's an excellent pick. Especially with blue side here needing some AP. You know, you have the Ashe ADC, the Vi in the jungle. What does this lead you with? I mean, top lane here, I'm thinking they're going to go more of like a Renekton, or possibly we see an Aatrox again. The Jarvan ban coming out. The Jarvan ban being exactly what ZiWi Gaming needed here, in my opinion. Being able to have that knock-up, that just engage, keeping them in a close circle for that Nico ult to work so well.
Yeah, I think personally, Island Boys, they need something like a Scion in top. If you're ZiWi, you kind of want to save your top lane pick till last, because it's going to be a very crucial pick. It's going to be, you know, something that shapes the entire rest of the draft here. So I think a safe blind, like a Scion, like a Renekton, like an Aatrox, any of those could be very solid. And the Malphite ban does imply that they want to go for something a little bit more aggressive, potentially even a Gnar.
I could see a Gnar working out here, especially with like the Vi Ashe setup that they have along with the Bard. That Gnar just having that little second to build up that rage if he doesn't, or just be able to, you know, position himself perfectly in a fight. I wonder if from Island Boys, if we're going to see an Azir, for example, I think Azir would be really great for their team. It offers that AD top lane that they kind of need, I think. But the Neferi coming out from red side.
It's Neferi mid. It's Neferi mid Morgana jungle. It has to be.
It could potentially be. I mean, the Neferi being the, you know, the untargetable with her W, it really just means that what is Vi going to do? How is Vi going to engage on targets that have a black shield or, you know, are untargetable? And I honestly, I think the Neferi pick is so smart here, because it means, what does Ashe target? Ashe has, you know, Ashe can't W into those fights. She can't get that long range poke because it's going to hit the dogs instead. While on the other hand, it offers Neferi, you know, a great choice of options here to engage on. The Kled coming out from Island Boys, a very strong top laner with his two, you know, with his mounted form and his dismounted form. Ryze being the final one to follow on blue side, a very scaling AP. We're going to be seeing a good game here, boys.
My goodness, I really like the Kled, the Cho'Gath.
The
potentially come through here.
Oh my
Fiora.
God. Red side having so many options. They're showing us our hands. They're teasing it.
Are
they going to go for the Kayle? Kayle might be a good choice here again. It's going to lean back more towards the Fiora, though. The Fiora just being a strong, you know, matchup into Kled, being able to solo win the way. But the Poppy comes out instead.
Well then. Okay, well now we're going to have to wait to go in game to see where everything's going, because now you've got flex picks all around. You know, you could see Nico go mid, you could see Neferi go mid, you could even see Neferi go top, if you're really up for it. My assumption is that it's going to be Poppy in top lane with the Morgana in jungle, Neferi mid, Ezreal, Nico. But, you know, it's a very well-played draft there. I just think, you know, this is going to be an absolute banger of a game. We're seeing here... Ooh.
The Poppy pick is honestly an interesting pick. I didn't expect it, but it makes so much sense. Why give Kled and Vi the option to just run in and just... The Poppy just stops that completely. Like, the Kled can't ult. If he ults and goes in, Poppy just stuns him.
And it is! It's Morgana mid! Oh my goodness gracious me. Morgana mid lane in this game.
It does appear that is what they need to be. The red side here going full, you know, full team bot side. Is this going to be their choice? Are they going to go for an early on invade? Sending the Nico in first. No, it doesn't look like an invade. They're going to be sitting in the bush.
Yeah, I mean, Island Boys, they don't step up anywhere near. It's assumed, you know, Nico has got the Tangle Barbs, has got that E route ready, and they will get spotted on the wall here. Question is, Morgana currently hasn't hasn't like used a point in any of her skills yet. She's waiting to see if there is an option here. Waiting for that Nico for Bruto Bond on the Nico to see if she can catch out anyone with the Tangle Bobs. The trade-off for this is Vine has now been able to get a very nice ward there on the Raptors, and we'll basically see the poppies clear as long, like, barring any kind of major malfunction.
It's not the poppy clear, my friend. It's a Neferi clear. It's going to be the poppy in the top lane into Rise.
Oh my goodness. Into Rise? It's a Kled in mid? What is happening this game? I do think the swap is correct, though. Morgana's going to have a much worse time into Kled, sorry. Poppy, you know, it was intended to go into the Kled. Stop his dashes. Now, she's against the Rise. She's going to, you know, be thrilled to have a little bit of a quieter lane. Poppy will have to play around that, you know, that top side sort of alcove and the brush.
We are going to be seeing a change of pace in the bot lane here. Red side getting the push early on. Very strong side. This is much different from what we've seen earlier in the games, where both teams have just kind of kept the wave in the middle and been trying to play for that level 2, level 3. And it does seem like Red side do get that level 2 early on, pushing, you know, Island Boys back under their turret. But it does just mean free farm for the Ashe. Ashe now getting the level 2.
Now, I can see the intent of this. The intent is to get this third wave here to be on the, like, more favored towards the Ashe and the Bard side, so that it shoves in, so that when the cannon wave arrives, it's underneath your turret as Ezreal and Nico, so you get level 3 first. The issue is, they push the wave in too quickly, so now they're forced to shove this wave in, and what ends up happening is now they're exposed to Vi, so now they have to back off, back away, and they're going to look for a potential invade here.
It seems like that's exactly what they're going to do. ZiWi Gaming know where the Vi is from where she started. Morgana is going to cut out the Kled. The Kled is going to be alone here. Walking into backline. The Ezreal jumps over the wall. The Ezreal going in, just getting the poke off. The Vi going down, having to flash onwards. And Neferi follows up with a Q, and it's just about enough. Taking the tower shot, but getting first blood down to Neferi. Red team exhausting all their options into this lane, but it does mean that Bard and Ashe do follow. But Bard is going to get caught out by the Nico stun. Bard's going to respond. The heal's going to come back out. Oh my god, what does this mean? Red team are being very confident in the jungle here. Is it going to be enough? The Ashe poke, the Nico flash coming out. Both the bot lane flashes coming out from blue side. Neferi jumping in onto the Bard and Ezreal, but it's not going to be enough. Kled is going to take down one. Red team are going to carry on fighting. The Ashe barrier comes out. The Ezreal has to flash. The Morgana pool still alive, causing damage to the Kled. The Kled is going to be low. The Neferi is going to go in, but the Vi is going to be a threat there. The Morgana flash coming out. Is it going to be enough? The air balls. Morgana misses her Q. She has no mana. Blue team taking a 3-for-3 in the bot scuffle there. Ultimately coming out as victors. The red side, though, do get in the first 3 bloods.
And look at the wave states at the moment. Mid-wave is underneath the turret. Morg has to TP under to get, you know, get any of this gold, and it's going to be a perfect wave for Ashe to collect. And Kled's able to shove in the bot wave. He's not going to get anywhere near close to death. Lico's level 2.
This is an insane game. This is exactly what we wanted. ZiWi and Island Boys knowing each other's strengths, knowing their weaknesses. They know exactly how to play this. It is going to seem the Nico's going to get caught out by the Bard roaming down. The Kled! This is criminal!
This is unbelievable. He gets the remount. He manages to survive. Not able to close the gap. But the thing is now, Ezreal's in a spot bother here. I think that's, you know, not a great idea to take that trade. He's going to fall as well. They need to stop going in on this Kled. Let him reset. Don't try and take any longer fights. Island Boys are absolutely loving it.
I think Island Boys here, that Kled being 3 kills up is just detrimental to the team, I feel like. Rise is going to be in the top lane here. Poppy's going to TP back to mid.
It's a very well done start here. It looked dire to begin with. You know, Ziggity Wiggity Gaming, they were able to get a very nice, you know, push, invade onto the red side jungle. But they overextend, the Kled comes in, and all of a sudden it's a downward spiral from there. Ends up being 5 kills to 3 with almost a 1,000 gold lead for
And
Island
all
Boys.
that
Not
being
even
on
6
Kled.
minutes.
All of that being on Kled too.
Yeah, he is currently by far the richest member of anyone in this game. 500 gold up on the next richest player. And that's his own teammate, it's the Vi.
I think it's amazing that this guy is ahead. He's got that Tiamat, he's got the pickaxe. He is just going to be unkillable, I feel like. Blue side here going in for an invade into the red side, onto a flank for the Nico. The Viq is going to be coming out, going to hold it. Ezreal is going to dash over it. The Vi gets caught out by the Nico stun, but so does Ezreal from the Bard.
The Bramblethorn from the Nico doing very well to sort of stunt Vi's engage, but it's overall, it's a nothing burger because Vi is able to just come back and clear the Krugs. And now we're going to see who is in for this Drake. I know it's only an Ocean, but it's 2.5% missing health every 5 seconds. And if I'm looking at anyone, I'm looking at Kled to benefit most from that.
I completely agree with you there. The Kled and the Rise, I think, are going to be the ones out of this game that profit it the most, really. And it does seem like that they are going to go for it. Bard's going to be moving up through the river, attempting to gain vision and control over it. Vi's going to queue over into Drake Pit.
We're starting to sort of see Morgana, absolutely fantastic pick in theory in isolation, but the issues are now starting to arise. She is not mobile. She is not able to leave this lane. I think it would have been a little bit better if she was in that jungle slot and then theory was mid, because just be having a little bit of a better time in terms of matchups. But later on in the game, the Black Shield could prove to be an incredible tool for the team fights, as we do see a potential.
The Ash ult coming out, the Bard portal over the wall, the Electrocute coming out, the ult from the Vi going on the Ezreal, the barrier's coming out, but it's not enough. That Ezreal just drops like a sack of bricks. What can you do there as the Ezreal? You've got the Nico clone in the bush to try and stop the gank from coming, but you don't expect the Bard to be there too with the Vi. Executed perfectly by Island Boys. This is what we mean by the Island Boys are such a confident pick. They know their skill, they know their abilities, and they know how to play as a team.
And I mean, the crucial issue there is Israel, he needs his items. He needs that Mirror Mana, he needs that Triforce. There is going to be a fight here on the top side. Grubs, though. Rise going in on Poppy. Neferi able to claim 2 out of 3 grubs as Rise is knocked away by the keeper. Now going over the wall.
The Poppy Stone coming out, the Ash on the backline on the Morgana. It's not enough. The Neferi going in, trying to take down the Vi. The Poppy Shield comes out, but the Rise responds with his ult. Morgana is not enough, missing another Q, having to flash over. This is flashes from Rise. Morgana, the Vi is going to continue running in, taking down 2. A 2-for-1 trade for Island Boys. Island Boys are going in this with pure confidence and pure swag.
Yeah, I mean, they're without their Ezreal, and another thing is Nico doesn't have the Pot Blossom, so she can't punish these clumped teamfight engages very well. And I mean, it started off quite well for ZiWi Gaming. It did start off very nicely. Neferi able to pick up 2 of those grubs out of the 3. Morgana's there to back her up. But it falls flat when it comes to the damage. The Clear comes in with the charge. Gonna be a kill. Ezreal dies to Ashe in bot.
The Ashe and the Bard combo, again, is just a bit too strong. We can see that the Ashe doesn't have her arrow, which means she used it during that fight on the Ezreal, locking him down. The Bard just hitting level 6, going on a roam towards top side here. Does look like there is a fight on the Kled. The Bard ult coming out, putting him in the stasis, but it's not enough for the rest of the team. The Morgana and Nico just sit back and watch as the rain pours. The acid rain from the sky, completely removing that Kled from the mid game. This is where Kled's really strong early on, but you keep making mistakes like this, and he just goes down. Yeah,
the lockout potential from a Nico and a Morgana it can prove to be too difficult to handle here. And the issue will be if Kled gets caught out by even one of those CCs, but we will see here, you know, that spell shield, it keeps Morgana alive, stops her from being tailed by the Kled, and it's gonna be I'm telling you, I'm predicting it now, it's gonna be the difference maker in this game. We're gonna have a fight later on. It's gonna be Neferi going in deep, maybe too deep. The Black Shield's gonna save her, she's gonna get a kill. I'm cursing or predicting, but I can just see it happening.
Ryze, obviously, you know, the very poke long range compared to the Poppy. It's just going to leave her completely chunked. She's going to need to play around the tower now. Neferi is on the hunt, though. She's on the prowl, but Ryze knows this because the Poppy stayed. Ryze is going to have to recall, but this means he does get a really good reset. Now we know where the jungler is. Vi is going to attempt an invade into the blue side here, queuing over the wall, trying to find where the Neeko's at, but the Neeko is hidden as a minion. She is going to play around this. The Neeko stun coming out. The Kled ult coming out onto the Neeko, pushing her away. The Vi jumping on the Ezreal. It's not going to be enough. The Vi getting the kill. The Ezreal going down. The Neeko accidentally targeting the wrong, or the Kled targeting the Neeko clone. It's just going to leave to a plate, 2 plates possibly, for Island Boys here.
Now, Kled did TP down into bot lane, so Ryze has had to go into mid to prevent Morgana from being able to get any more damage onto that mid lane turret, but turret damage be damned. Bot tier 1 is down to 3 plates.
The Morgana ult is going to come out on the Ryze. The Ryze with no mobility is going to get stunned, and Neferi's there to follow up on the Morgana, and the Ryze is going to go down.
Yeah, not even needing to use the Hound's Pursuit there, Neferi. Gap close not necessary, but might need a little bit of an escape here.
Vi attempting to just keep vision on the strike, trying to get it open, uses the Q to dodge it. This means that the Q is on cooldown for quite a while. Red side, it just looks like a free Drake for red side here. But blue side are going to contest it. The Vi getting ready to Q over the wall. The Bard ult comes out. The Q over the wall, that looks miscommunicated. The Vi's going to steal it! Stealing the Drake, but she's going to go down for it though. The TP coming out from blue side. Vi is going to stay alive. The Ezreal ult misses. The Neeko attempts to go over. The Poppy is here already. Running in, the Poppy's going to gain vision, but it's not going to be enough. No one's going to be able to follow up on it.
Oh, it's absolute chaos, miscommunication all around. The Tempered Fate comes through, but it's never going to be enough.
The Vi stole the Drake after all of that prep work from red side, and it just gets stolen with a simple Q flash in. The stasis might have been a miscommunication or a misplacement, but it worked out better in the end for blue side.
Yeah, and I mean, something interesting to note, Vi didn't die. That was a steal for absolutely nothing. She didn't even need to flash in the end.
She just stayed alive. She really relied on her shield and was just managing to stay that bit alive. The Neeko transforming into the Neferi. The Bard's going to think it's the Neferi, but it's going to be the Neeko. The Bard pole comes out, but it's just going to be a small chunk for now. Kled hovering towards bot side, expecting a fight. The Neeko getting stunned. Neeko misses her ult. The Kled ult comes down from the top side. Bard is on his own though, unfortunately, but the Kled ult does put the Neferi back in. The Neferi goes down.
Kled charging it in there. The Pot Blossom gets cancelled by the Bard. Cosmic Binding. Neeko a little bit overconfident, follows that magical journey. And that'll be the first turret going down here in bot side.
The TP's coming out from the Poppy. The red side are looking to turn us back. The Morgana flashes in, attempts to ult, but Ashe flashes in response. Bard is just going to get poked up by the Neferi. The Kled is walking in. The Poppy is running in for the Ashe. The sole focus is that Ashe going to barrier is going to come out from the Ashe. The Ashe dodges, but it's not enough. The Morgana is now low. The Kled gets a stun onto the Morgana, getting it down. The mount dismount from Kled. The Poppy is now on her own with the Bard and the Kled. What's she going to be able to do? She just has to scot around and hope for the best. She attempts to go in on the Bard. The Q comes out from the Bard, killing the Bard, but the Kled does not let this go down. You say, you're killing my friend, but I'm going to kill you. The Poppy continuing to run away. The Kled following his assault. He is not going to let this down, but he's going to attempt to go for the Q, but he misses. The Poppy's flash comes out. We are looking at for a Vi top Vade inside here, though. The Ezreal
barrage goes quite wide.
Oh, but it goes just that bit wide. That is very unfortunate. Ezreal here is alone in the mid lane. He doesn't really have much choice but to defend his mid lane turret. The first turret is going to go to blue side here. Both teams still on 50-50s, focusing on the jungle objectives for the boots now.
Yeah, and I mean, that fight, it goes on for quite a while there. And I mean, the deciding factor was the Kled. This ult that he's got, Charge, it has such a long range. And it's saving these fights. Bard, playing around the magical portal really well, does end up getting caught with an eco, but able to make up for it as he's just going ban for ban with an Ezreal now.
Bard does not care. He is rolling up. The Neferi is going to be on an invade, though. Is going to use the Hex Tech portals to escape. He is going to manage to get out of there, but does the same mean for the Nico? The Bard comes out onto the Poppy. The Ashe ult too. This does mean that the Kled's going to follow up onto the Poppy. The Nico attempts to come out. The Kled responding with his ult. The stun. The Kled's going to buffer. It's not going to mean much. Kled is going to continue the pursuit. The Vi attempting to follow up, taking down the Poppy.
Keeper's Verdict not available for Poppy there. She can't shove the Vi or the Kled off.
But it does just mean that Island Boys are just going to gain the confidence to walk in. Currently 16-8. We're going to have a 5k gold lead. ZiWi Gaming is going to be on the downside of the current game. They are going to be quite far a bit behind, especially in all their roles. The Bard is up 1.5k. The Rise is up 800. Items are coming out. We have Yuntels on the Ashe. We have Rise currently with 2 items as well. Poppy responding with the Thimble Winter in terms of items as well. What can you do as ZiWi Gaming here is my question. Drake's up in a minute.
I think by every stretch, you need to get control of this bot side. You get control of the Drake pit. All of a sudden, you know, you can claim a Hextech Drake. Yeah, attack speed and ability haste. It's very useful for, you know, Ezreal and Neferi, who very much like that poke. But Rise is going to be engaged one here. Not going to be able to connect it by the binding from Morgana, but Neferi will try and take an engage, but it's going to lead to nothing. Herald is popped in the mid lane. Just get this turret down.
That's exactly their plan, but are they going to drive it somewhere next? Yes, the Vi. The Vi is going to run in and attempting to get that mid tier 2. Is she going to be safe enough?
Risky.
She's got her Bard though. The Bard's going to slow the Poppy. The Vi is going to sidestep. The Nico comes down. The Vi goes in on the backline, but it doesn't matter because it means the Fairy and Poppy get free access to the ADC of ZiWi Gaming. TPs are going to be coming out. They're going to continue this fight. Red side just completely dominating. The Bard comes out, stuns them all gone, but is it going to be enough? No, it's not. The Poppy's going to be walking in. The Ezreal is going to be going in as well, taking down the Kled, but it's not going to be enough. The Morgana ult comes out. The Vi flashes it. We're going to be looking more towards the bot side here. Neferi is just going to be running them down. Red side are going to get isolated from the rest of their team.
Rise can win.
Rise is taken down, unfortunately. The Poppy, the Vi does see the Nico, but they are all low. Do they attempt to make another play here? Bard is going to be chased by the Poppy. Vi's going to look for a way to engage, but is it going to be enough? Blue team respawn times are in 10 and 20 seconds. They do have ult. The Bard gets caught out by the Morgana Q. He's going to go down, going to get knocked out. The Vi is going to be channeling the Q, attempted to run away. Is the Ashe arrow going to be enough? No, it's not. Unfortunately, that's very unlucky. ZiWi Gaming Vi going back in, attempt to get the stun on the Poppy, but the Nico does stop that from happening. Vi going to
goes even further forward here.
I think ZiWi Gaming just need to manage to just escape here, and they've, you know, came out of that fight better-handed. They have managed to pick up some kills from that fight. The TP's coming out. Flashes are still alive for ZiWi Gaming, but not really for Island Boys.
I mean, Island Boys, they played it before quite well, where they let the Kled come in from range. Now, Kled's ult, you gain a bigger shield the further he travels. The Kled TP'd into the middle of the fight, so he didn't get a chance to even pop the ult. He was just locked down instantly, caught out by the Poppy, the Nico, and then the Morgana as well. So we just couldn't do anything. But speaking of caught out, Nico having to flash away from Rise and Bard there. But overall, it's just a well-done fight by ZiWi Gaming, and they claim a Drake as their prize.
They claim the Drake as their prize, but unfortunately, Island Boy is going to get the boots, though, getting the third objective earlier in the game. Atakan going to be up in the 10 seconds. Island Boys having control over that bot side of the map. Does it mean that Atakan's going to go down, or is ZiWi Gaming going to have another fight? They are exhausted on some of their roles, but it looks like to be coming back up now. Vi is going to be attempting an attack on Poppy here, but it's not going to be enough. The Poppy's going to escape. Island Boys really giving the pressure that they had bot side to try and make a play top side here. Is it going to be enough? The Vi is on the flank though. The Q is going to come over the wall. The Vi is going to walk up to the Poppy, going to get that smash out. The Poppy is going to get Vi ulted, but it does just mean a fight in the bot side. The Ashe ult's going to miss. The Kled ult's coming out. The Bard ult responds to. Kled is going to be in the backlines, attempting to take down the Neferi and the Morgana, but it's not going to be enough.
Alive.
The Tempest gets missed, unfortunately. Neferi is going to have to recall. Low on HP, but Bard's going to see this with the vision. Neferi managing to dodge it with the untargetable. Morgana is going to be missing her Q.
And Poppy stays alive in top side and has got the TP, so she can come back onto the map here and act like nothing's happened. Ezreal gets caught out by the Tempered Fate, so we can't carry on any kind of prolonged fighting. Now, Neferi didn't ult in all of that. I feel like there's an argument to be made to be engaging onto the Bard, but opts to take the safer option there.
Vi's going to Hex Tech pull in.
There's that Black Shield completely denying.
The Morgana is going to flash ult in the backline, is going to be taking down one. The Ezreal takes down the Vi, but the Neferi follows up with the stun on the Ashe, going to follow up on that. The Neferi following it through the portals of Bard. Bard is going to stun her, but Neferi is going to flash, going to not get the kill, unfortunately. But we're going to be looking towards the top side of that fight.
And what were we saying? The Morgana shield comes in clutch, stops the Vi from being able to ult or even use the Vault Breaker onto the Neferi to lock her down, and it results in a very easy pickup. The resulting fight as well, the Morgana with the Soul Shackles locks down the Ashe, and the Neferi comes in, thank you very much. Picks up 3 in that fight.
The red side do get the Azcan. ZiWi Gaming making their comeback. You know, they've managed to pull it back from 16 to like 6 or 12 to 6, but they managed to bring it back 16 to 6. The Kled ult does come out attempting to defend this turret, but it's just going to be that enough to get rid of that wave.
And something else to note, the Neferi is currently building Shojin into Black Cleaver, so it's a much more bruiser type Neferi here, rather than opting for a full lethality. So the trade-off for this is she's going to be a lot more resilient in fights. She does also have the Conqueror, so any kind of prolonged fights, and Neferi is going to be loving. And the trade-off, I mean, is you can't really explode burst out on one of the members of Island Boy, but I mean, you want to play for these extended fights. You've got a nice Poppy, you've got an Ezreal, you've got Nico, who is currently disguised as a minion in mid-wave. Can Island Boys count? Ashe might not be able to. Is the Pot Blossom coming through? Temper Fate manages to stop them for the time being.
The stun onto the Ashe. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. Ashe is going to go down. Ezreal is going to down. Ryze is going to fall. The Morgana ult coming out. The Morgana is going to get rooted and knocked out by the Vi. The Vi is going to continue her barrage into the backline. The Kled ult coming out from bot lane. Now he's ready here for the fight. Is it a bit too late? Perhaps indeed, but it does protect the rest of his team during that fight, though. Drake up in 7 seconds. ZiWi Gaming is going even, but is it going to be even enough for the Drake? Poppy is in the top side, is going to TP over to this fight. What's she going to look for? The Neferi confidently walking in is going to get caught out by the Kled. The Kled's just going to be that enough damage to chunk the Neferi. Vi's going to get off the Drake fight. Now she's going to walk in, but she's just going to continue the Drake. Neferi, Poppy, and Nico are going to have to focus the Kled, but is it going to be enough? The Poppy goes in, misses her ult though. Ryze is just going to focus their jungler, try and get rid of that, you know, potentially stealing smite. Is going to get caught out by the Bard though. It's not going to be enough. She gets stunned. The Drake goes over to Vi though. The Vi going to be queuing over the wall as they escape. The TPs are going to be coming out from Morgana though.
Yeah, it's a very chaotic skirmish in the bot side. It starts off with a pick onto the Ashe from the Nico with those tangled barbs, and they manage to pick up the kill onto the Ashe and transition it into a kill on Bard, but they overstay. Ezreal falls to Ryze, and then all of a sudden your damage is king. And we see in the resulting fight that, you know, they weren't able to get a foothold. Ryze is able to just down the Neferi. We see 2 items, a fully stacked Rod of Ages, and a Seraph's Embrace, so he's not going to be dying anytime soon.
From the early on stamp that Island Boys had, I really thought that they were going to keep this gold lead, but unfortunately, it is now back to just having a 500 gold lead to Island Boys. Poppy managing to be 500 gold ahead of the Ryze, which was a difference than what we saw earlier in the game, where Ryze was maybe like 1.5k, 1.2k ahead. Ezreal has picked up some of the gold from these fights, getting to a 1.1k gold lead compared to the Ashe. That Ezreal is so much stronger right now in terms of just his capabilities alone, I feel like.
Yeah, but the issue is that you do have, if you are Ziggity Wiggity Gaming, is you need the right conditions for the fight. You're so reliant on the Nico catching a member of Island Boys out that if it doesn't happen, all of a sudden you're losing the fight. It doesn't matter that you're ahead in gold. It just matters if the Nico can land it, and it's gonna be a Baron flip here.
The Bard stasis is going to come out. He's going to go in a bit too early, unfortunately. Kled is going to TP in, but it's going to be a bit late. The Assault comes out. The Rise is going to focus the Morgana. The Flashes and the also coming out. Nico gets 2. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. Ash is going to take down the Ezreal. Taking down 1. Neferi's going to respond with taking down the Vi. The Poppy is now in the front, and the Neferi jumps back in, taking down the Rise. Is it going to be enough? The Neferi has reset, taken down 2. Neferi getting the double kill. This is going to be a 1-for-4 trade. Going to put ZiWi Gaming back in the gold lead again, getting the Baron. This is just...
And that is exactly what you needed. The Nico catches out the Bard early on. The Tempered Fate doesn't come down in time. And once again, that Morgana Spell Shield perfectly timed blocks the Ash Arrow, means that the Soul Shackles can come out. It catches 2, leads into a Pot Blossom from Nico. And it's just a nicely won fight. It's a free... was a 4-for...
4-for-1.
I'm pretty sure. 4-for-1. And a Baron into the hands of ZiWi Gaming. So far, this game has not disappointed.
This is what I mean. These are top 2 teams going against each other, both being excellent players of the game from, you know, both members of the team. The Vi just not getting in there like she needs to early on with the Morgana Spell Shield. She really has to hesitate on her moves when she does engage. But it does look like the tier 1 for the mid lane is going to be giving to ZiWi Gaming back now. The Ezreal coming back out looking for a play potentially. The Bard and the Vi are going to be on the flank. Is it going to be enough? The Assault misses, attempts to go on the Neferi, but the Rise does get the stun onto the Poppy. The Vi attempts to go back in on the Neferi, but she misses. The Poppy does respond. The Vi, just isolated, gets taken down. Kled is going to be back on the top side. He's going to attempt to push, but we're going to see a siege here from ZiWi Gaming. They know that they have the numbers advantage. They know that they have the Barons. What can Island Boys do? The Poke just attempts to come out defending the mid lane, but it's not enough. Neferi jumps in on the Rise. The Rise attempts to TP away. The Poppy follows up, cancelling the Rise ult, but the Stasis is going to go over the Bard. The Nico are going to come out. The Morgana ult is going to come out, but they're all going to miss. The Nico still manages to take down Rise now, who's by himself. The Nico stun gets caught by the Ashe. The Ashe is going to be rooted. She's just going to be able to flash out of that fight. This does mean that the tier 3 and the middle lane inhib goes to ZiWi Gaming, and they're just going to escape scot-free.
It's an absolute nail-biter of a fight. ZiWi Gaming, they don't lose a single member, but they can't quite get through to those Nexus turrets just yet. The inhib does go down, but with this Baron buff, it seems like they might just do a replay, run it back, send it down mid lane, potentially after this trade. Now, crucially, soul point for Island Boys. If they claim this Drake, they get they get Hex Tech Soul, sorry, which provides basically a static Shiv type ability that slows down opponents on contact. Oh, but
the Morgana is going to cut out the Bard. The Ezreal is going to hit the Bard. The ult just gets completely shredded. Bard said, see you this morning, and then he said, I won't see you later.
Oh, that slightly magical journey didn't just send him through the red pit, it sent him back to the base.
Poppy is going to respond to the Rise, attempting to kill the minion wave, stopping the Rise from taking the, or stopping the Kled from taking the turret, but it's not going to be enough. The Poppy is going to be by herself. The Vi is responding. Kled is going to try and take down. He's going to survive. The Vial is going to come out onto the Poppy, take down 1. The Drake does go over to ZiWi Gaming. This does not mean the soul point goes to Island Boys, but it's not going to be enough. The Smite comes out onto the Poppy. The Vi flashes, hits the blast cone, sending the Poppy back into her team, but the Kled is just going to be that low enough to where he can't follow up, but Vi does get the shot down. In the meanwhile, ZiWi Gaming is continuing to siege their bot side, taking down the Ashe, who currently has no teammates because half of them are top side. It does mean that the Nico has to recall, but it means that 3 members of ZiWi Gaming are alive to siege the tier 3 turret. But Vi is responding to this. The channeling goes up, looking for an engage here. Is she going to engage? No, she's going to flash away, dodging the Neferi from jumping in. The Nico contemplating whether or not to stay in the fight. Kled going to be responding here, but there's not much that they can do. The only thing they can do is catch the bot wave. Both inhibs going down. The inhib time is being 3 minutes for the mid wave and now 5 minutes for the bot wave.
I mean, at the moment, it's sort of looking like ZiWi Gaming are starting to choke out the Island Boys. It's a very nice attempt from the Poppy in top lane, trying to use that passive If it kills the unit it hits, she instantly gets a bigger shield. So using that, she autos the blast cone, which still gives the shield to just try and stay alive that little bit longer to kill the Kled. Kled manages to get away. Poppy falls to the Vi. And then it's... You know, it's... The one thing Poppy did manage to do is delay a lot of time there. So, you know, the rest of ZiWi Gaming, they were able to stall out long enough and claim the bot inhib. So now it's 2 lanes of super minions. Next objective isn't up for another minute and 40 seconds.
However,
around the same time.
However, an objective that is up is that juicy blue side top tier 2 that it looks like red side are going to go for. All the while, Kled is going to be in the bot lane attempting to recover the map pressure as much as he can. But is it going to be enough? The Poppy is there to stop his, assault. But it does seem like
ZiWi, a collapse.
The ZiWi Gaming really do want this top turret. Opening that third inhib is basically going to be game over guaranteed for Island Boys. Island Boys sees this and they respond. But is it going to be enough? The Kled TP's back. The Kled TP's in. The Bud ult coming out. Is this going to be enough? The Kled ult coming up. The Ash Arrow stops the Bud from going in. The Kled is in the backline. The Vi currently follow in. Is it going to be enough? There is a split team. The Ezreal goes down. The Neferi attempts to follow the Bud. The Nico ult coming out from the backline. The Stasis on the Nico. Is it going to be enough? No, it isn't. The Nico is going to get taken down by the Vi knockup. ZiWi Gaming are going to be falling here in numbers. The Neferi is going to get caught out, going to get rooted. Is going to attempt to go on the Ash, but the Ash is just going to have that survivability from the Rise. And the Vi, ZiWi Gaming, falling to bits. Island Boys needing to defend that, playing that so well. Kled got the early TP, but it's not enough.
It's just a matter of like minuscule things. It's a split fight to start off with, so you have no one to take down that Kled early on in the fight, so he just gets the Conqueror stacks. He's able to sustain up nicely, has the Cyclo Sword, and also he is full build, by the way. This Kled has 5 items. And the theory, she goes into the backline, there's no Morgana shield to be able to protect anyone from, the potential for, the stuns from Bard, the lockup from Vi. It's used early on in the fight. The Ash Arrow does miss. Baron goes into the hands of the Island Boys. Is there going to be a sort of post-Baron skirmish here?
ZiWi Gaming really needed that Baron buff. They really needed that buff to just take down the mid and open up the base or attempt to go for an end. But unfortunately, it's going to fall into the hands of the Island Boys. The next objective up is being a minute for the Hextech Soul. This is going to be a Hextech Soul to the Island Boys, or it's going to be third soul for ZiWi Gaming. However, Island Boys do have the advantage of the Baron that they just won. Kled is going to be down a TP, and he's going to be a split on the top side of the map, where Poppy's in the fight now. She does hold that TP advantage, meaning that she can, if she gets chunked in a fight, go for a recall. But it looks like that ZiWi Gaming are going to look for a fight in the red side, knowing Kled's top side. But they're not going to get anything, though.
Spell Shield already been used by Morgana, and not only that, the Edge of Night that the pocket has already been procced, so now there's nothing stopping Vi from having a sort of free engage. The Morgana's using the old very willingly as the turret damage from Kled.
He is just shredding this space. ZiWi Gaming are just attempting to control this Drake, knowing that if they give either one of these up, they are going to lose, but the Poppy is going to come out and is going to take down the Kled. This does leave, again, this is where the Poppy TP comes in really crucial, because it is going to be that changing fight. She's going to be able to sit in that top lane and defend it, or she's going to have to TP in. It does look like Island Boys are going to just back away from the Drake and give it, though.
Yeah, they seed the Drake. They know that there is one more before the soul is claimed, so they're going to try and put all their eggs in skip, but the attack speed bonus that's already coming through as an Ash Arrow flies past. Some would say it's...
I think it was just an attempt at it still, really, but unfortunately she was just that bit too late. The timing was just slightly off by a couple of seconds.
Just trying to see if she can pick off a low member. Ash Arrow, goes a little bit wide. Crowley's Comet and all, but it's looking very nice if you are ZiWi Gaming. It started out a little bit on the shaky side with the Kled getting ahead early on, but now he's able to just solo him. So this front line for the Ziggity Wiggity Gamers is quite impressive. It's just a Poppy who really stands on the front line, and all that's going to happen is Nico comes in, potentially cloned, goes in, tries to land a Bramble Bramble Root, and then Morgana follows up with a Binding, and then there could even be a Soul Shackle and a Pot Blossom, and in all of that, you've got an Ezreal who's spamming Mystic Shots, and a Fury who's trying to hunt down your backline, and overall...
The Kled unsuspectingly leading into a trap. The ult comes out from Kled, but the ult comes out from the Morgana. The Kled Flash is attempting to dodge it. The Neferi and Ezreal are there to respond. The dismount comes through. The Ezreal ult misses. Kled just surviving, attempting to make any play that he can, but it's not enough. He gets taken down. This does leave Island Boys at a disadvantage. However, it does mean that they can claim the mid lane turret. Is it going to be enough? The Poppy is going to get collapsed on, though. Unfortunately, the Poppy's going to go down from the Rise and the Vi. In the meanwhile, ZiWi Gaming are just going to be storming their bot side here. They're going to be taking it down with the free man. Morgana is going to respond. It is a bit low. It's not going to be enough, though. Both inhibs are back up for the Island Boys.
And that pick onto the Kled, it's well played from the Morgana, standing in front of the Kled so that his ult cancels, and with the spell shield, able to get the Soul Shackles off in time for the rest of the team to come in and pick up the kill onto Kled. So it's just very well done from the Morgana. Not too much able to come as a result of it, but you'll take what you can get. Now, this is a relatively even game. It's looking very nice.
Both teams are just going to be waiting at this moment in time. They're not really going to be making any aggressive plays because they know that any play from here on out can decide the game. They're going to be attempting to play it what it looks like for the objectives. Obviously, Island Boys having both their mid inhibitor and bot lane inhibitor exposed means that they can't really go for anything too aggressive, but it does also provide the benefit of helping this super minion wave, you know, be pushed out constantly. The next objective is Baron before Soul Point. This is going to be what ultimately decides which team do get the buff from the Soul.
I think the ultimate thing they need to make sure to be careful of is, yes, the Baron will be up first, but you need the waves to be in a state where you can make value out of Baron, because when you think about it, the Baron is going to be spawning about 45 seconds before the Drake. How much value out of the Baron can you get in 45 seconds before that Drake fight happens? Because if there's a team fight, if there's an ace, 45 seconds is enough time for an entire team to respawn. And usually what you want is you want to take the Baron after you the ace. So it's like you're going to have a response fight as well. So it'd be in the best interest to make things as difficult as possible, as we do see a sort of ARAM here onto mid. They're trying to get these waves into good states to shove them back out. Island Boys, they're playing very, very well. That top lane is now got 2 super minions. Not going to have 3, as the inhib is respawning very shortly. Someone has to clear this top wave, otherwise it could potentially be excess pressure being put onto ZiWi Gaming.
And it does mean that Poppy's going to respond. The blue team are going to be seeing this. They're going to be making the play. They're going to be stepping up, knowing that they can play aggressive like this. Ted is also spinning bot, adding more pressure. The Ash Arrow comes out, but it misses, unfortunately. Both teams are still going to be at a standstill. The Poppy dropping the top wave, not letting it defend. The Kled sees this. He attempts to go in and ulting the bot side. But Poppy is going to be there to stop him in. Poppy's going to stun him, not let him up. The top lane inhib is coming back up for red side. The ults are coming out from both sides, attempting to take down that Kled, but that Kled's going to be, you know, taken down. It doesn't matter. Blue side are going to be taking the Baron. Is it going to get stolen? Yes, it is. Red team stole the Baron. Red team takes down 1, takes down 2. The Neferi just keeps running up. The Stasis comes out from the right. Is it going to be enough? The Vi is just dead in the back due to the Ezreal, and it's not enough. Island Boys have just crumbled to pieces.
And that Soul as well. Kled tries to stall out in time for the rest of his team to claim the Baron. But guess what? Neferi says, hello, Bark Bark. Are you the postman? This is mine. And
it's going to be enough. ZiWi Gaming are just going to storm the base. They know Bard's the only one alive. What else can they do? The Bard attempts to stop the next wave, but it does already mean that there are already 2 cannon waves in the mid lane for ZiWi Gaming. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Your quarter-final winners will be ZiWi Gaming. They just completely crushed this game. What are they meant to do? The Bard just stands there. What can I do? Hands up high, and that's it.